Welcome to the first and final word with Nelson Jordan. I'm Chris Nelson. If you have not done so already, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube page, follow us on all of our social media pages, and listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. Nelson, the Kansas City Chiefs defeated Detroit Lions 30-17. Chiefs were without their starting rookie left tackle, had the backup in there in his place. On the Detroit Lions side of things, also without their starting left tackle, Pro Bowler Taylor Decker. The backup left tackle is on IR, so third string left tackle starting for them. No suspended receiver Rashee Rice for the Chiefs. And on the Lions side of things, on defense, their secondary is missing 5 of their top 6 cornerbacks, if that is even possible, but it was the case going up against that high-powered Chiefs offense with that speedy receiver and Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. What are your takeaways from the game?
The Kansas City Chiefs, they are staring at a wounded Chargers team. They are staring at a inconsistent Broncos team, and they are making their run to be like, just like Tom Brady, being the king in that chair. This is my division and my division only. And again, Kansas City goes out on Sunday Night Football in a good game for the most part. For the most part, they dominated. Mahomes, with, as you stated, without their starting left tackle playing in this game, he played really well. 257 yards total, 3 touchdowns. He scrambled too for a couple of yards as well and had a touchdown scramble as well.
Over 50 yards rushing?
32 yards rushing. Sorry.
Okay, I'm wrong. It wasn't as much as I thought. That's a good amount, though.
Yeah, great amount, actually. And for him, he's been having to scramble a lot more this year, a lot. Yeah. And it's not like he wasn't known to be scrambling. It's just that he's, per se, I guess, more physical. And he's kind of said it, too. I want to kind of save this for the end of the season. But knowing that they started off the way they did, he's definitely had to use his legs. But again, that doesn't take away from the rushing attack. They're still trying to figure it out. I think they'll explode as soon as they get Rashee Rice back in a couple weeks
next
here.
Week.
Off
next
suspension.
Week. 6-game suspension is over now.
I thought it was the week after 6 weeks, so meaning week 7. He's suspended for 6 weeks, so that means he wouldn't be available for the Commanders game. So he would be.
No, Nelson, this is week 6. He's finished his 6-game suspension now. He's playing in the next game.
Oh,
We're
sorry.
finally going to see the Kansas City Chiefs going forward now as long as they stay healthy. Yeah. But they're fully healthy at this point in time. So
I stand corrected.
We're going to get to see that Chiefs offense and what it could look like. And with those 5 wide receivers and the speed they have and Travis Kelce and all these guys, it's a scary thought.
Yeah, I mean, he was, again, Mahomes and that offense is finally clicking. Travis Kelce, this was his best game of the year so far. 6 for 78. I mean, I'm looking at everything right now. And the defense, Chris Jones and that defensive line, they took advantage of that hurting offensive line, and they were whooping them on the Detroit side. They were whooping them. I mean, I'm surprised Jared Goff didn't leave the game injured because he was just getting harassed all game long. And like
only
you said,
one sack, though. He only got sacked once.
He only got sacked once, surprisingly. Yeah. But again, I mean, that offensive line is beat up, and it's most notably because you can tell the Detroit rushing attack was very anemic in this game. They were not popping off the screen like they normally would have, especially when you have Sonic and Knuckles, right? And both of them just merely had only 89 yards of rushing. Now, to most teams, that might be good, but to Detroit Lions and what they're accustomed to, that's not good enough. We saw an amazing catch by Sam Laporta. That one-handed grab, Laporta
with the defender draped all over him, the back of the end zone, somehow get the feet in bounds, and that made it a one-possession game.
Yeah, Laporta's just insane, man. He's just insane.
He's all pro as a rookie. Missed some games last year, but man, does he look like the guy he was.
Jameson Williams, he definitely did gain some muscle this year because I could definitely tell. He was a lot skinnier when he came in the league. Yeah. But darn it, Jameson Williams, man. You are just out physically them corners out for Kansas City. And by the time the second half came by, again, not to just, retouch what happened, but Kansas City just, they ran away with the game at that point. They extended the lead way too much. And then I want to touch last on this. Branch, you are an absolute moron. You should get suspended for literally hitting another guy in the helmet post-game. That is dumb. And you've had a history of that. And the NFL knows when you have a history of doing that, they will discipline you. And you deservedly so. All for Mahomes going up to you to saying, hey, man.
It's obnoxious, childish.
I mean, come on,
he said,
man.
He called himself childish. Yeah.
But that's my take. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the Detroit Lions had the ball first and went down the field, methodically marched on the field with a ridiculously long drive, but they had to settle for the field goal because they had an illegal motion on Jared Goff, which was an incredibly fun play. It just was illegal and didn't count. But that backed them up 5 yards. They took a delay of game back to further and kicked the field goal. I found that very frustrating. Why didn't they just run the ball on the 1 yard line and get the touchdown? I don't get it. I mean, you have Jahmyr Gibbs. You could put David Montgomery if you want with the power back. But either way, they're both tremendous goal line backs, great running backs overall.
Yeah.
I didn't get that. I mean, I get it. These two offenses, what they do, their creativity. It's what we expected to see coming into the game. It was a fun play, again, as I stated, even though it was illegal and didn't count. But just punch it in the end zone and get the touchdown there.
Seriously,
and then Amon-Ra St. Brown on that 4th and 2 dropped the ball. I mean, Jared Goff threw it low. It was a really tough catch to make. But is that the first career drop of Amon-Ra St. Brown? I don't think he's had a drop since his rookie season. I'm pretty positive either the past 2, I know at least the past 2, but I think the past 3 years he did not record a single official drop.
That's insane if he did, man.
Oh, it's the most unbelievable stat I've ever seen. And so for him to have a drop is just, I mean, it's stunning, but he did. And prior to that, the Chiefs had, of course, failed on a 4th and 2 without Kirby Joseph, the first team All-Pro safety for the Lions on the field. Great job of the Lions defensive back to break the ball and make that play. It was interesting because that was a 3rd and long. I can't remember exactly how long. Maybe 3rd and 16. They got a big gain. I think it was to Juju Smith-Schuster. And I wonder if they hadn't gotten that gain, if they still would have gone for it, or if they would have kicked the field goal. But instead they go for it, and the Lions bottom getting the stop. It actually worked in their favor that they gave up a big gain on 3rd down, maybe, potentially. You never know.
Yeah.
But that was interesting. But then, they dropped the pass. And with all the injuries to the cornerbacks in that secondary, all the defensive backs out, they just couldn't stop the Chiefs. Even after Sam Laporta had that touchdown pass late, I sat there and said, they can't stop the Chiefs anyway, so it doesn't matter. The Chiefs are going to go down and score, and they did. They went right down. And credit to the Lions for holding them to the field goal, but it didn't make a difference. It was over, and the Lions' offense just ran out of time, essentially. They couldn't get it done. Steve Spagnuolo, Chris Jones, Sean McDuffie, that defense deserve a ton of credit, limiting the Lions' offense to 17 points. I mentioned it. They easily could have had a touchdown on the opening drive. I would have given them a 28. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 21, excuse me. Amon-Ra St. Brown catches that ball. Maybe they get a touchdown there, and maybe they do score 4 touchdowns. And then maybe we're thinking about this differently. But even if that had been the case, that offense, we know the talent they have. And so that was a heck of a performance by the Kansas City defense. So much credit to them for that. I know that when you're in your 3rd string left tackle and your usual starter is a Pro Bowler, and you also lost your perennial All-Pro center to retirement, that makes things a lot more difficult. But I'm still going to give that defense a ton of credit for the performance they had. But the Chiefs offense going out, putting up 30 points, what we saw from Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, and I get it. The Lions defense depleted with injuries. They just had no chance in this game. But credit to the Chiefs. That was a very impressive performance and win on their part. It really was.
I do want to add one last comment, and maybe you can feed off of this too and add whatever you want to. But it is interesting to say and to note that even with Aiden Hutchinson, who arguably last year was on his way to being Defensive Player of the Year until he got hurt, they are bottom. I think they're bottom 5 as far as sacks, total sacks this year. And that's bad. That's bad for a defense that under Aaron Glenn was predicated on getting after the quarterback and playing man-to-man sticky coverage and getting off on 3rd down. And I'm not saying this to say that the Detroit Lions are going to free fall, but if there's any reason to say maybe this is a weakness that got really exposed by the Kansas City Chiefs, and as a blueprint copy for everybody there afterwards, this might be it. Because we saw in this game, I mean, yes, they had 3 sacks, but Mahomes looked like he was getting untouched the majority of the game. He had all day to throw. It was outrageous. So, something to think about.
This is something we can touch on after the season, so I don't want to touch on it now. I'm just going to throw this out there, and just stay with me here, okay? Just hang with me. Mike McDonald's the defense coordinator of the Baltimore Ravens, takes a Seattle Seahawks head coaching job. They promote Zach Ward, their former All-Pro linebacker and currently linebackers coach, to defensive coordinator. He's now in year 2, and obviously we know all the injuries they have. The Lions do the same thing, where Aaron Glenn, their defensive coordinator for the past 4 years, takes the head coaching job with the Jets, and they promote a former player to defensive coordinator. It doesn't seem like it's worked well on either side. We'll see how the rest of the season plays out. But Zach Orr did a good, not great job last year, and I think there were expectations he had them in position to be better this year with the way they finished this season. But we saw that defense in Buffalo in the playoff game, and obviously the injuries now makes it difficult to evaluate, and it's too small of a sample size. The same thing in Detroit. I just wanted to throw it out there, though. We can revisit it after the season. Maybe we won't even need to, but I just wanted to kind of throw it out there. It's kind of an interesting thing that I saw.
Yeah.
So that's all we've got for this one, guys. For Nelson Jordan, I'm Chris Nelson. Go subscribe to that YouTube page. This has been the First and Final Word.